guys. Good morning. Quite a wonderful morning it is. A beautiful morning, one might say. Glad to be back here with you all. Of course, today you've got myself, Max, and Dr. Will's outlook to guide you through the price action today. To just be your guide, guys. It does seem that we're looking pretty good on the lower time frames. I'm not gonna lie. We did have some jobs data that wasn't too great. I'm not sure exactly how equities are reacting quite yet, but not looking bad, guys. Not looking bad. I was worried that we were going to get a little New York
Tucker,
Open sell off
Tucker,
as we have.
Tucker, do you have a VPN on, bro?
No,
I feel like you're routing
no,
your internet through Cambodia right now. It's really choppy.
no.
It's his electric fence outside.
Yeah.
Are you for real?
Bad day to be Tucker's Wi-Fi.
You're good now.
Hang on.
You seem good now.
Oh.
It's his VPN.
Yeah. There was no VPN. No, I'm not a VPN enjoyer usually. Also, I was just going through a chart and you guys can't even see it, so that's great. But no, I had some update for this thing. All right, whatever.
All right, back to you. You seem pretty good now.
All right, let me just. I was literally just whipping through charts and.
Did we fill that gap right there?
No,
I mean,
Did we partially fill the gap?
we bounced directly off it.
not quite yet. Right there, but
I'll take it. That's fine.
I'll take a bounce off the gap. Yeah, that's not that bad.
No,
but
we're gonna fill that shit. I mean, I'm bullish, but we're still gonna fill that shit.
I guess that's not that much lower, is it?
No, it's not. That's why it doesn't even matter. Like, what is
yeah,
it, like, percent? Like, it's
it's like 2% lower. It's like 2%.
Yeah.
But anyways, oh man.
Tucker, you're frozen, man. Something's going on with your internet.
Yeah, I don't know, Max. Take over the intro. I'm gonna figure this out real quick. It's frustrating.
So Tucker forgot to pay his Wi-Fi bill. It's pretty embarrassing, but I'm going to share my screen because watching him speak and then not being able to see his mouth move is pretty brutal. So Will and I are going to take over until Tucker figures it out. I don't know what he needs to do, but he's going to figure it out. I know he's going to figure it out. I just don't know what's going on, I was kind of sensing he was probably aping and had a VPN on or something, and he was like routing it through a bunch of foreign countries or something, but maybe that isn't the case. But yeah, guys, like we're getting a nice little local bounce here, but I was talking to our community this morning, like the significance of this level really can't be overstated, right? Like this is check level, big level, no question about it. And we're going to talk about that. So this is your 2024 volume profile. So like the entire year of price action, this is your volume profile right here. Okay. This is your volume profile. So it's pretty obvious when you look at this, like we are stuck between our value area high and value area low, right? So much interaction, value area high, value area low, right? Big deviation down here. Again, more reactions. Like you can see how price is respecting and interacting with this value region, right? And what is this value region? Think of it as like within, two standard deviations of where all of the transacting has occurred has been right here, right? So majority of price action typically occurs within this value region. And it's a big level, right? And what's even more significant, let's look at the daily first. You've got a nice little daily order block here. I love the insta buyback, right? So swept the value area low, swept this wick into daily demand, big level, okay? Check level, big level, right? I don't hate this here. I would love us to move up a little bit because it's uncomfortable. But what's so important about this level is that if we fail this level, meaning this wick right here, like we fail to break down, it suddenly starts to look really good, right? Where if you're below it, then it kind of makes you think we're going to do this, right? And it looks terrible. But if we can manage somehow to swing fail this level, then I kind of start to see like the inverse head and shoulders pattern play out, right? And not to mention, you know, there's kind of a bullish compression here, but an inverse head and shoulders taking place at your 2024 yearly value area low after swing failing into daily demand is a nice bit of confluence, right? So this is really what, if you're bullish, you need to be hoping for this, right? Is just something like this, right? Like you just want to see this level insta react, right? Like you just want to see something, you want to see that first high time frame higher low, right? So I keep using this example because it's just really clear. But like this is what you want to see is you're in a downtrend, right? Really simple here. Let's make this red. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay.
I would say this though, Max. Like I would expect the bid to be a little bit stronger. I'm like, if we're gonna move from this range, we need to do it within days. Like we cannot sit here for a week or two or any of that shit. Like it, we have to get out of this 50K range. If we don't get out of this 50K range, like we need to get above roughly 61.5 in my perspective. Otherwise, like this thing rolls again. And it's not a big deal because we've talked about this. I've shown the people, obviously, in the Giga chat, like what I'm seeing. And I don't care if it goes to the low lows. Like it doesn't matter to me because I'm very bullish on the structure. But ultimately, like, you know, I think we're limited on time here. And this is the one time I've actually come in and said that because I think like hanging out here too much will cause more people to capitulate.
Max, did you steal my chart?
Oh yeah. No, I'm a KOL, Tucker. I'm not sure
Oh
if you've heard of
man.
it, but I am a key opinion leader. So that was a very obvious move for me to do, was to see your chart and then to steal it.
I mean, I can prove it too. Look at that.
Wow.
Study.
I'm stealing the chart back.
Stolen
No.
valor, Max. Stolen
This
valor.
is what we need, guys. We need this low to hold. We can't go make a new low. Otherwise, I kind of agree with Will where it's like eventually you just have to say enough. Like you need something constructive for a shift of trend. And this is the best chance we've got right now is we're holding demand. I want to see that sort of inverse head and shoulders potentially play out. But big level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big level. But I'll pass it. I want to talk about kind of seasonality as well. But Tucker, let's maybe get you on here. You can kind of finish up what you were saying before your Wi-Fi got kind of destroyed.
It should be better now, right? Are we all good?
It seems good. Yeah, it seems pretty good now.
Yeah, let's discuss the data fluff. Go ahead.
The data fluff, man. I don't even know what to say about the jolts. Like it's been so long since I've had to even hear that word or worry about jolts. So I don't even really want to talk about it because we're pumping because of it on bad data apparently. So
Who
you know,
who measures job data that the government fictitiously puts out and then fluffs whenever they feel like fluffing or deletes whenever they feel like deleting?
I need you to define fluff for me, Will.
So it's jobs expectations. Like it's the dumbest fluff you can ever like. You can fluff those numbers anytime you want to.
Mm-hmm.
There's no real way to track it. How are they going to track it?
Yeah, no, I mean I agree. It's the same thing with CPI, right? It's kind of whatever they want to put, they're going to put, right?
Yeah, it's however they're feeling that day. If they want the market to go down, they'll put negative numbers. If they want the market to go up, they'll put positive numbers.
Well, apparently they wanted the market to go down and the market said otherwise. So, because let's go back to what these are doing. Not bad, not bad.
But keep in mind, we discussed this structure literally last week, Tucker, and I was like, fill the gap, and everybody's like, I don't know.
On what? On the S&P?
On the S&P, smack dab right into that gap. It smacked right into
We bounced off of it, Will. We bounced off of it.
and we're gonna
good.
finish that. We're gonna finish that move. Yeah, we
Did we even sweep the all-time high like properly?
Bro, we tapped that
Not
gap
really.
on the money, and we're gonna fill it. Watch.
We'll see.
We're sitting here thinking it's gonna be gaps aren't support.
What if
They're
they just
filled.
decide to? What if they just decide to pump it, Will?
Bro, I have such a bullish structure for Nvidia. Like I have such a bullish structure. Let me get the.
I know it, Will. I know it. It's this, isn't it? Yeah, it's
Bro.
this right here.
No. It's not that.
Yeah. What is it?
It's not that.
It's that. It's okay.
No,
it's a good.
no,
It's a
it's
good.
not.
It's a
Not
good
that, no.
structure.
Your bottom line is angled up too high.
Angled up too high.
There you go.
So you want that to come down here?
There is potential for that to happen.
What is that? 90, basically 100, 97, 100.
Yep, somewhere's in that range.
I mean, I think.
Scroll out, put that on log. Hold on, before you leave.
No. I know. We'll hide this real quick. I want to just. But okay, we'll put this on log.
Scroll out. What pattern is that?
I mean, is it a bull flag?
No, it's a flag bull pennant.
A pennant, okay.
Which is a continuation pattern. And here's the thing: this isn't the only one doing it. Pull Tesla.
I mean, you could even argue it did it back here, right? Kind of thing.
Well, that was more of like a channel. But
yeah.
I guess you could say it started that way and then retested and then ran. But go to Tesla. And
hang on. But I want to see like what even is the lower time frame significance of Nvidia on something like Bitcoin, right? Like, I don't know if. Hang on,
I just had those eyes, Mr. Magoo. I just had those eyes, man. I had the Asian eyes, even though I'm not Asian. What you said? What's the what?
I mean, it's similar, I guess. It's pretty good, but
hold on. What are you overlaying?
Bitcoin. It's just Bitcoin.
Bitcoin's a whole different pattern. Bitcoin is a whole.
No, I know it's a whole different pattern, right? But like, look at the moves, right? Like, it's pretty good.
Bitcoin had less performance, but then it caught up on performance later on in May.
I mean, this chart needs to be observed. Okay, hang on. Let's get rid of this. Let's do Bitcoin USD. Okay. The Bitcoin Nvidia pair needs to be studied, I think. Let's make this let's make a USD Bitstamp, yeah. There. Is this on log? There. Now, this is something we talked about, or I talked about in the Discord yesterday, right? Like, what does this pair being bottomed, which I think it probably is, or at least reaccumulating, what does that mean if Bitcoin is going to outperform? Because, Will, I know if this was some beta play on ETH, you would be bidding this chart. I know you would.
Yeah, the only issue I have with this is like the spikes are too erratic. They're not spaced out in a way that's predictable. Does that make sense?
No, that's not true, Will. Put Bitcoin down below, Tucker.
No, I'm saying like run a ruler between those spikes.
No, I know, but I'm saying for like Bitcoin cycles, you can see that. Put it in log, Tucker. Put Bitcoin in log. You can see that the Bitcoin Nvidia chart goes parabolic in the very final innings of Bitcoin's bull market. So Nvidia pumps before Bitcoin in every cycle.
Yeah, so that went parabolic, right before kind of the final leg. This one, it started like this was like the beginning of bull market.
Here's the thing: you got a 2019 pump, right, on that BTC Nvidia, and then you got a 2021 pump, but you didn't get a 2023 pump before you're getting this 2020 or 2024 pump before you get this 2025 pump.
No, here, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was comparing this to actually last September, because check this out. This, you can't really tell, but this was a 80% move out of Bitcoin Nvidia last September. Okay, which basically was this, right? So, and it feels somewhat similar. It feels a little bit similar. I think you're gonna get like,
you're in a bid range. I'm just saying, like, being able to predict when this breakout would occur is difficult.
yeah.
I'm going to show you, Tucker, go back to my screen. I'm going to show you that it is kind of predictable. Okay. It's kind of predictable. So it's not science, right? But there is something to it. Like, it's not, there's not no signal in this, okay? So we'll put this in green for Nvidia.
Which one is the Nvidia BTC chart?
I'm going to add that. I'm just adding spot Bitcoin versus Nvidia first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Bitcoin's previous all-time highs right here. So previous cycle all-time high up top. And then, wait, what the heck? Command C, Command V. Okay. So let me just finish drawing these out, right? Because I believe we have seen more or less this in previous cycles. Okay. So now let's mark out when Bitcoin starts going crazy. So we'll make this orange for when Bitcoin really begins to outperform. I think we could all agree it's probably right about there, right? Give or take. It kind of rounding a little bit, but you'll get the point. Now let's put Bitcoin USD divided by Nvidia. And I have to put it up top, and then I'll move it down below to new pane below. And we got to put Bitcoin back here. Okay. Here we go. So this down here is Bitcoin Nvidia at the very, very bottom. So in my opinion, like, it's pretty obvious right here that, like, Nvidia will outperform Bitcoin basically through its entire bear market and reaccumulation. And then once Bitcoin gets into price discovery, like, you see a different behavior out of Nvidia, right? Because, and you could look at it like this, right? Nvidia starts to move sideways. And then when Nvidia is moving sideways, that's like when the real Bitcoin outperformance begins to happen, is when you get like a lull out of Nvidia, right? And I would kind of view that lull. I mean, let's even mark out last cycle, right? Here was your lull. And then Bitcoin goes crazy during that Nvidia kind of lull, right? It's not perfect, but it's around this phase of the cycle. And I would argue that Nvidia is more or less kind of going sideways and in a lull, and everybody is kind of looking for like that cycle top for Nvidia, but it might just be sort of like an intra-cycle. It might just be kind of like an interest. It's like one of these right here. You know, it's just like a little pause, and you could even bring it back further where it's just like it marks up and then it goes sideways, right? And I think a lot of people are not looking at this the right way, and they're saying like, oh, this is like the global cycle peak for Nvidia. But realistically, like, this is probably where you're at, and it probably has like another push up, you know, like one of these. And then what you're going to see at that same time is you're going to see that Bitcoin Nvidia spike, you know. And I mean, I didn't do this perfectly, but you could go back here, you know, and look at the same thing.
The anomaly that I'm trying to point out here is, like, the 2019 to 2020, that spike you have there doesn't occur between 2014 and 2018, and it hasn't occurred here between 2021 and what our current cycle top will be.
Are you talking about this?
Yes. To me, that's an anomaly pattern that's in the middle of all of this that throws off this whole idea to me. Like again, it's just to me, right? Like I look for patterns that are consistent across the board, and that breaks the inconsistency.
You know what that says to me though is that gives credence to that we're not in an echo bubble right now, actually.
I would agree.
And that this is just classic having your price action, because you didn't get the Bitcoin Nvidia spike, right? Like that is different than 2019, because everybody's like, oh, we're in 2019, like the like altcoin market and the rate cuts and blah 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 blah. You know, it's just like,
because and this is where a lot of people get it wrong. They to get a blow off top, you need a parabolic move, and so that parabolic move tends to implode on itself and then retrace big. And so that's what happened in 2019, right? We got that parabolic move and then it imploded on itself. And then, but as you can see from 2015 to 2017, we had a gradual push up to the high. Even now, where we are now, this hasn't been like a parabolic move. It's been a gradual push up and to the right, right?
So
like if you were to draw a curve.
Let me ask you this question though, man. So like, let's assume that the 2019 deviation or anomaly didn't happen, right? Because 2019 through 2021 was a weird cycle. I've said this before. If you go from bear market bottom to like, straight through like this, oops, that wasn't what I meant to do. Okay. Basically like this. If you look at Bitcoin up here, this was like an way overextension to the top side, way overcorrection to the downside, way overextension to the upside, way overcorrection to the downside. This was a weird cycle. It wasn't like a beautiful parabola like 2017, right? So I'm kind of looking at it as we had multiple anomalies, right? We had a true double top. We had like a 55% mid-cycle correction. Like it was a weird cycle. We can all agree. Really, really weird cycle. Not beautiful textbook like 2017. If this anomaly here, I just covered it up with the same color background, so it's missing. If you just pretend for a second that didn't happen, which I know is a silly game to play, but be entertained by me for a moment. All right. There is somewhat of a pattern that plays out here, right? Where you get a big spike of Bitcoin against Nvidia, and then you're going to get something like, you're going to get something like this, like these long, accumulations like this. And then you just get a big spike and then that's it, right? So maybe the pattern doesn't play out where, we go on to make new highs every cycle like this, or maybe it does. But I think what I'm personally looking for is like, if we did something like this, I mean, that's good enough, right? It's a good signal, just like even a little spike of some sort. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? But when you start, I think what the chart represents is Nvidia is like a staple name, right? It's a blue chip, mega cap tech staple, right? That's where all the boomers keep all their money and stuff like Nvidia. What this Bitcoin Nvidia pair tells me at the bottom is what you have here is a transition in mindset from blue chip staple names, the backbone of our infrastructure, the backbone of our economy, stuff like Nvidia. And then a shift of mindset to, hey, we're doing well. Let's gamble. Let's go further out on the risk curve. That's what this chart tells me is, hey, we're going to move from staple names into small caps and crypto. That's all that it is. It's like it's a stability to risk oscillator is what it is.
Yeah, but that's just capital rotation. That's just and that usually doesn't even require that much capital. That's usually them just moving 2 to 3% of total capital and rotating risk, and risk absolutely runs from that.
Right, but I'm saying that, but we agree then. That's what this is, right? So it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's like what the chart tells me is that when you get these teal boxes down here, right, you go through a prolonged period of we're not ready to go out on the risk curve. We're just going to stick with Nvidia and Microsoft and Amazon and Google and blah, 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 blah. Oh, wait, it's time to put our foot down. We're going to go out on the risk curve. We're going to bid small caps. We're going to bid shit co's. We're going to bid shit coins. That's all it's telling me.
Yeah, but that's what IWM and Russell and stuff like that measure those things specifically. Like IWM is very close to breakout, basically hit, breakout, and rejected. And I think like if you're using those as metrics versus like I'm not saying like there's no alpha in this. I'm just saying like I think it would be easier for like an average investor to use something like IWM or Russell to be able to measure that better and be able to understand, is there a bid on small caps, mid caps, or is there not a bid on small caps, mid caps? You know what I'm saying? And IWM's at all time. It basically almost touched all time high. So
I actually really like IWM here, Will. Right?
Yeah.
Like I actually do.
I mean, if you draw an angled line across those lows, you're in an uptrend.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, and I'm talking about from the lowest low to the current lowest low.
Like, I mean, it's in an uptrend. Like,
no, not that. Right there. Yep. And then to the lowest low. No pennant. No pennant to the lowest low. The very bottom.
That is all three of those lows right there.
He means not lower than that. Lower than
where
that.
your blue dot is at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean here?
Yes. And you just take that all the way up. Take it all the way up to your breakout. I think IWM structurally could stay in that trend.
I agree with you. IWM looks good here. Like, okay, let me put it this way. IWM is at an inflection point, right? We are either, I will tell you right now, we are either in here or we are right here. Okay. There's one of two.
I thought about I've actually considered that also.
Well, there's no denying the structure, right?
Like the lower high structure. Yeah, I've looked at it and I've acknowledged it, and I'm just like, I hope to God that's not the case.
It's not my base case, but like I will acknowledge the structural similarities, right? Between something like, okay, guys, this is not my base case. And I don't think we're gonna get COVID.
Max, they're gonna clip you, bro. They're gonna clip you and put you on Twitter.
They're gonna clip me. It's fine.
They did it to me last week.
Bro,
like this is, you know what I mean?
Max, I'm just going to say it. I'm so tired of the Black Swan event discussion. I'm so sick of it. People seen one Black Swan in their entire life, and they act like they can continue to predict.
Well, they act like 100-year occurrence is going to happen every 2 years, right?
It's just the dumbest takes I've ever seen in my life. Like, just literally, why is it a black swan? It's because it's like the Black Plague. How often did the Black Plague happen? Like think about it. Use like people have to use their brain a little bit, man. Like these are occurrences that rarely will ever happen, and more than likely won't happen again in your lifetime.
Yeah, like this is a once in 100-year event. Like this isn't something you can really model. I don't think. You could have maybe used some TA to see it coming, right? Like you could have done this.
Once they kept people home, it was a signal.
You could have done this and been like, oh man, all right, I'm looking at the Russell. I'm bullish the Russell. We're above the range right here. And then when we broke down right here, you could have been like, oh man, that was an ugly breakdown. I think this is going to be, a deviation up here. And then you would have, you could have been like, all right, I'm gonna short the Russell because, I think we're cooked. And, who would have nailed us going that low? You know what I mean? But like, you wouldn't have been up here like, yeah, we're about to have like a black swan. You know what I mean? That's
I'm like, I feel like we discuss it, but I don't even want to entertain it anymore. Like when I hear people that names start with an N, like start talking about that shit, bro, I just want to just like insta mute them. Like I just like don't even want to have the conversation anymore. It's such a low IQ conversation to talk about black swans. Like people shouldn't even be thinking about them. It shouldn't be a thought in your brain. As an investor, all it will do is throw you off. That's all it will do. Black swans come and go so fast you won't even realize they happen.
I want to talk about I want to talk about the seasonality here. I was doing some charting last night, but I think this would be good to talk about on the show, right? Because a lot of people are looking at it as like a fade event. They're like, and by the way, guys, please start panic liking. We're gonna need some panic liking here. But
Mhm.
people are like kind of fading seasonality. I'm guilty of being a Q3 seasonality fador myself. I am guilty of that. And it hasn't been the right decision, right? Like Q3 historically is kind of bad. And then usually Q4 things pick up. And I see a lot of people right now being like, oh, yeah, everybody's expecting Q4 to be bullish. Therefore, it's going to be bearish. And I feel like it's almost reverse psychology where everybody's now like aware that Q4 is supposed to be good. So they're fading it and it's actually going to be good. But let's just take a look here real quick. We're going to throw the Bitcoin halvings up. And then I marked this out last night. All right, but I wanna show you guys the past couple Q4s, Q3s into Q4s of halving years. Okay. So the black line right up here at the top, that's a Bitcoin halving here. Let me remove this so it doesn't get cut off at the top. Okay. So you can see pretty clearly right here what happens in a halving year. Here's Q3 marked out. So June 1st all the way through September. And then I marked out September to show like potentially where we're at right now. So here's Bitcoin halving. Q3 is garbage. September is muted and choppy and junky. And then Q4 is great. Let's keep moving. How about last cycle? Q3 was garbage. June, July, August. I mean, just terrible. Terrible, right? Like I included the whole summer, right? But like summer is junk all the way through Q3 into September. And then Q4, we get a ripper, right? But look at September, like this was brutal, man. This was brutal. Like I remember this drop. I remember I was still learning for sure. And I just remember being like, here we go. Like we had the Bitcoin halving. This is what everyone was talking about. And then I was just like, damn. And then I remember seeing all these tweets from like, big accounts being like, the halving is a failed metric. It will not work again. Like the cat's out of the bag, blah, 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 blah.
Every
You know?
4 years doesn't work, even though it works
Yeah.
around presidential elections. It's fucking
Yeah,
retarded
literally. Here,
takes.
let me throw the elections
Mhm.
on here too.
It's like, bro, like you can play elections on stocks, let alone crypto. Like the fact that the halving was built around the elections is a signal. It's a signal in itself. Like people don't get it.
So the orange line is the US election from last cycle as well. Here, I'll even go back to the first cycle. We'll just do this again. I want to show you guys the elections too. Mark it in orange and then get rid of it.
It was
Okay.
always the elections, man. It was always the elections. It was never the halvings, guys. It was never the halvings.
Q3, September, Q4. I just included the full summer, right? Because summer's just junk. So like June into September, Q4, orange line is the election. And then look what happens, right? Bang. And it's in log mode. Seriously, look at that. Boom. Tucker, are you studying?
I'm studying.
Will, are you studying this?
That's a boom right there.
Been studying, man. Been studying it for years.
Okay, so fade seasonality, right? Fade seasonality. Fade the
Fade
election.
elections. Fade
Right here.
elections, guys.
Here's
Fade
Bitcoin
elections.
halving. Summer Q3, September marked in orange, and then the orange vertical line is the election, and then here's Q4. Right?
We don't fade. Yeah, we don't fade Q4 seasonality.
Fade elections.
I'll
How about we
tentatively
mark out
fade
where we're at right
September
now?
though.
You're ready.
Fade
This
fade
election's November 5th.
Oh,
I'm just
man.
saying, like, do you really want to be a seasonality denier?
better sell everything.
I will
man.
admit, I was a Q3 seasonality denier. Okay,
Yes.
I was
Same,
like,
same, yeah.
yeah, I
Joking.
faded it hard,
Joking.
and it has done exactly what it has always done. Seasonality has the market by the balls right now, and I'm just showing you. We'll put it in log mode and now zoom out. Like, do you want to be a seasonality denier? You know, like, do you really
Time
want to
and
go down in
time.
history as a Q4 seasonality denier? I personally don't. You know,
Max, you know what I call
I have a
that?
question for you, Will. Will, do you want to go down in history as a seasonality denier?
Absolutely not, man. I'm not a pattern denier either. I'm all about patterns, man. I see a lot of patterns that seem pretty consistent there to me. I'm all about it. I do have some alpha though, Max. If we
Well, here's the problem with your alpha, Will, is
minute.
that they haven't earned it. That's the problem with your alpha.
Oh
So you might have the alpha, but you don't have a reason to show it. Is the issue?
man, unfortunate.
Tucker,
Max, you need to slap total 3 on there too, by the way, or others.
No.
That needs
If
to
the
happen.
alpha is not ready, it sounds like soybean time.
I mean, we can go to soybean. That's not a problem. That's
Tucker, I need to see this. I haven't
All right,
seen
we're just
soybeans
gonna
in a
do it.
while.
We're going to soybeans, man. It's happening.
I'm done, man. We're done. We're
Happening.
done.
It's
Get up.
Bro,
over.
we
Bring the
have
soybeans up.
so much
Enjoy.
propaganda.
Wait,
it's not
natural
even funny.
rubber is pumping.
Yeah, that's the exclusive one that only I have.
Why does this chart look botted? What is going on?
Dude, this is. I mean, all right, guys. Here's the deal. Ooh, here's the deal, guys. If you are enjoying the content, please do us a quick solid and hit that like button. It just takes 1 second. It's totally free. Really helps the channel, guys. Please support us by hitting that like button. Unfortunately, the mega cap tech overlords, they have determined that the only way the channel can grow is by getting audience engagement. So we actually really need you to like the stream. It's a bummer, right? I wish the algos out there could evaluate the quality of our content, basically by how committed we are, but they can't do it. They're just like, you need like, and then your channel grow. And then we have to sit here and look at cotton candy futures on is this the 3-minute time frame?
Yes, it is.
That's a pretty good time frame to evaluate cotton candy futures on Heikin-Ashi pair.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, also if you're watching on X, guys, you have no excuse. It's so easy on X. You just hit that heart button, and maybe if you're watching and you're enjoying it, hit that retweet button, guys. Help share the content. Send it to your grandma. Grandmas love cotton candy futures. You know, share it with a friend. Hit that retweet, hit that like button. And again, thanks guys so much for being here, because Will wants to share his alpha, but he's not allowed to because honestly, the likes are so low. I won't allow for it. Maybe I'm stubborn. Maybe I'm requesting and asking too much, but I see his chart in the background, and honestly, like, you haven't earned it. Will is out here preparing charts, but you're not out here preparing likes.
I see his chart, guys. It's good stuff. I can see it from here.
Yeah.
It's current price action, by the way, too, guys. If you guys want to know what's going to happen now, we can talk about it. But
I want to know what's
we
going to
definitely
happen now.
we definitely got to get the likes up if that's the case.
Guys, 148 likes. We can get to 200. Come on now. Come on now.
They're staring at crude palm oil until they submit and hit the like button.
Tucker, would you draw a trade setup on crude palm oil futures?
Yeah, we gotta to go lower. Wow.
I might take a crude palm oil futures trade if you can give the setup here, brother.
Yeah, let's see. Let's just start drawing some lines here.
Oh, who could have foreseen?
I like it for a bounce, maybe. Give me some volume.
It seems like there's an absence of volume right below your golden pocket. Do you think that golden pocket for crude?
Boom.
We're going to abbreviate this. FCPO1 exclamation point ticker. Do you see that golden pocket providing a bounce or no?
Yeah, but I'd say it's probably only a bounce to like back to these highs, and then you hit it again.
I don't like that point of control there, man. I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like that's pretty heavy.
It's pretty high up there. I don't think you're really gonna get above this high. Oh wow, it's in blue and purple. And then you're not gonna hold that golden pocket the next time, man. It's over. There you go. Intraday Euro scalping palm oil.
Okay. And then we're going to check on the likes right now, but I'm going to show you guys something before we kick it over to Will. Okay, let's see here.
Oh no, look, Max, they banned him from sending super chats.
What?
I don't know.
Dude, he was literally keeping the lights on at BB.
I know.
Crypto Max, he's the biggest giga chat on the planet.
I know.
All right, right before we go to Will, Tucker had said, what about, put others up there? So I want to show you guys. This is your altcoin index right here. Okay. This is your altcoin index right here. Okay. I want to show you what happens here. Actually, maybe could I go percentage and then merge into one, and we go percentage. Oh, this is nice.
Wow.
So look at what happens here. Q3 to Q4, man. Look at altcoins versus Bitcoin. Like altcoins just
Altcoins slaughter
get
Bitcoin.
smoked.
Mm-hmm.
Like look at that. And
They
then it just
literally
goes
slaughter.
vertical, man. It's kind of hard to even show because here, let me go to the last cycle. Let's go. Look at this, man.
What did you merge? Total 3 and what?
This is here. I'll change the color. So
Others and what?
this is. So we have others, and then we have Bitcoin right here. So you can see seasonally what typically happens from Q3 into Q4.
Into Q1.
Yeah. Look at that. Bitcoin in orange. Wow.
2021. Yeah, see, usually I think it's Bitcoin breaks out in Q4 and altcoins send in Q1 is the fireworks for
Look at this.
altcoins.
US
Yeah.
election, Q4. Oh my.
Yeah, mark out January 1st of the post-halving year. That's kind of when you have your altcoin season.
January 1, black line. Bitcoin halving, US election, January 1st.
Imagine
2
cheating.
cycles ago. How about last cycle? January 1st.
Study.
Bitcoin halving, US election, January 1st.
$58,000 for one Bitcoin, Max. $58,000. United States dollars for one Bitcoin. Wow. They're just barting again, bro. They're just barting up and down and up and down. It's unbelievable. And every time we do it, it's over and we're back. It's actually insane.
I mean, at this point, I would just kind of assume that like we're gonna do this, man.
Yeah.
Like this right here. I don't see why you would fade this at this point.
I've been saying it's brain off, buy dips, don't sell season. Even imagine holding through the last 6 months and then cheating down, selling down here. It's just, oh man,
Could
it's
never
just
do
not
that.
it. It's
I could
just
never do that.
no.
All right, Will. It's time.
Here he goes.
Cook, Will, cook.
All right, so the pain train, right? It's so painful. It's so painful. Again, 196 days. 196 days we sat in this downtrend before we got the breakout. The Bitcoin's first move out of the range. We are currently at the high up here. We're at roughly 175 days. So all you got to do, hold out for another 30 days, roughly, give or take, right? 30, 40 days, somewhere's in there. If we're going to be relatively in the same time frame, here's the thing: history never repeats, but it rhymes. We're close enough to the same time frame. We are pretty much the same exact pattern. Like, why so bearish? Why so bearish? That's all I want to say.
Will, are you shoving here?
I've been buying. Like I posted literally buys.
Oh, but are you shoving, Will? Are you shoving?
Yeah, I've been buying everything I can buy. Like everything. Holy zoom in. But yeah, I've been buying everything I can buy. It's look, it's all about finding value, right? And where your best RR returns are. Like guys, like think of all the people that like. Here's the thing. Max, do you remember all the people that were coping when we were here? And I was like, you better buy, you better buy, you better buy. And everybody's like, oh, it's coming back. It's going to 2K,
Will, there was
guys.
a CME gap at 22K. I wanted it so badly, man. I'm a gap filler. I'm a guilty gap filler.
Yeah. Will, you were the only one who was bullish at 20.
No, Jackus was bullish.
24. Was Jackus bullish at like 24.9?
I was the only one, bro, at 25.
I remember. Look. I remember.
I even bought at 25.
Let me just
posted it.
I'll send it back to you, Will. But you were the only one who was bullish, like right here, and then everybody else, we all flipped like right here, and
The whole timeline flipped.
Been great, yeah.
So, guys, there's a crisis happening right now. Everybody is smashing their TV in front of their family.
Oh my god, I see it.
Will. What if we don't go to 48, man? Like, what if?
Yeah, what is that arrow pointing downwards, Will?
No. So we're gonna get to this. Okay, we're gonna discuss this. We'll talk about this. I want to start with this, right? Time frame. 196 days, right? 196 days. We're almost the same as that time frame. It's the same structure. It's just that, granted, there's more wicks here, a little bit more vol. There's more body candles here, more accumulation kind of occurring, but we do have accumulation occurring right in here. As we've been falling, when you get big body candles like this is accumulation. This is agreed upon price. Body candles are agreed upon price. That's the buyer and the seller saying this range is okay with me. That's both of them agreeing. Wicks is noise. So since we started going into body candles, as we've been slowly dropping, we've kind of, what I would assume is kind of forming a lower, like a bottom, right? A bottom mean pattern. This is a worst case scenario. That's what that green line is. It's a worst case scenario. Now, granted, here's the thing. We did the same thing right here. We started playing to the downside, and a lot of people got very bearish when trend go down, right? Whenever people see this, they want to shit the bed. But the reality of this is this, right? It's not down more. It's not fall off a cliff like most people think it is. A lot of people, normie people that don't understand TA, they look at this like this, right? But in reality, this is manipulation to do this. When they want to take your money, they do this. They get you hyper bullish. They push prices up, and then they take your money. That's how they take it. They don't build short to go shorter. They build short to go long. They build long to go short. That's the key here. The key takeaway that a lot of people.
You're saying that this falling pattern is bullish, Will?
Yeah, they're building short.
Oh my goodness.
They're building short side, and that this is, again, it's the same thing they did here. Now, granted, some people, the COVID, blah blah blah. It doesn't. Look, this is a black swan. It fell out of pattern. Granted, it was still structured to the downside. If you think this is going to happen again, look, go dip your head in some water, start counting, and don't pull it back out. All right. So this right here, all right, this right here is the result of this. Right? An overextension to the downside, this black swan event, created all this parabolic move. We probably wouldn't have gotten this far if it hadn't been for this overextension. but because we got the overextension to happen. Now, granted, I'm expecting this to be a normal cycle, right? So I'm expecting this thing to do its thing and then eventually break out, hit its high, and then be over. That's it. Just like a normal cycle. I'm expecting this to be very much like this. And then right back down to this.
It's almost like a phenomenon, Will, where while we're in this, it feels. Can you zoom back out to where you just were real quick?
Yeah.
So we're going to look back on this when Bitcoin's at 200K and be like, oh man, can you like, it looks like we just went straight up, you know? But while we're in this corrective phase, it feels way longer than it really is, and it feels more painful than it really should be. But like if you were trading in 2016, before we actually went into a parabola, it looked terrible, right? Like it looked choppy. It was difficult to hold through.
Before you broke your high, it looked like shit.
And we pulled a 10x in like less than a year, right? So I have a feeling that we're about to experience the same thing, where we're in this corrective phase and sentiment's terrible, and we'll look back on this and be like, remember when we were in that like range of death, and it was like 400% ago.
I think this line chart really does it because, right, line charts only show closes. This is the monthly closes. Like every cycle, you get this little dip, and it looks way more junky with the candles, right? It's more choppy with the candles. This is kind of smoothed out, but you get it below the all-time high, right? Like below all-time high, at all-time high, below all-time high. ETF, blah, blah, blah. We got a little ahead of our skis, right? Happening above all-time high. Now, do we think that's more or less bullish than every other time?
But that's the overextension to the right, though, Tucker. If you pass the chart back real quick.
What do you mean overextension to the right?
So that's why we're running to the right 196 days in a downtrend.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like we ran up too quick and we had our little corrective phase above all-time highs, which I would argue is
we had a time-based mean reversion is what we just had.
We need to make this green. I would argue that's far more bullish than
when I say overextension, I'm just talking about this corrective phase has been longer than usual, right?
Yeah,
it's a longer than usual corrective phase.
I don't know.
No.
Study this.
I want you
to study this, though. That's the thing.
Oh, wow.
Hold on. Pass the chart and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
But I want everyone to study that.
Look, this right here was 210, right? Actually, no, it's about the same, isn't it? Yeah, look at that. 196, 210. This I bet this is 196 before we break. 203. So corrective phase up, corrective phase up, corrective phase up. So we've had now 3 corrective phases. This will be the 3rd corrective phase. And then we should move out of this. And here's the thing. Like if this were a bearish corrective phase, I would be anticipating something like this right here. Or even something like this. This is what I would. So when I look for corrective phases, I look for things that are patterns that are directionally biased to be negative, right? That is a bearish pattern. That is a bear flag. That is telling you price is moving structurally to the upside. It's controlled price action. Rejection, support, rejection, support, broke, retest, break. Now you've got another bear flag forming, break. Now you're in a downtrend, bull flag. And granted, some may be like, oh, that's hindsight. No, I saw this while we were in the bear market. That's how I was able to get in at the bottom. I was like, well, we can keep going down, but I've got basically a bull flag playing out. Not to mention, we also had confluence with RSI showing we had bullish confluence with the RSI.
These comments are just on another level today, man.
Between the chart
and off, man.
But here's the reality on current price action, right? We tapped on, and this is something I talked about last time I was here. And I said this range right here. We tapped perfectly into it. On the money, right into it. Now, either we're going to go up from here, and if we go back up and retest the high, I would expect some kind of breakout, right? Or we're going to come up to like roughly about 60 again, and we'll roll, and I would anticipate 51.3 to hold. If not, we can get a wick into 49 again, right? A wick retest. Now, the one thing that a lot of people haven't looked at is why did we go to 49? Why did we go to 49? What was at 49? Well, let me show everybody real quick what was at 49. The confluence that everybody missed here. Everybody missed this right here. This was at 49. Perfect liquidity retouch. Perfect liquidity retouch. There's no need to go deeper. You tap liquidity and you bounce.
I agree. There is no reason to go deeper. And furthermore, I have a beautiful fractal to show you what's about to happen next. Do you want to see it?
You go for it.
But do you want to see it?
Of course.
Will wants to see it.
Show him.
Here it is.
Remember when I told you to move that arrow to the right? The final bear trap.
Happy to oblige.
Yeah, it had to be done. Sometimes you gotta do it.
We even had this, bro. It's everything.
I know.
It's that we're 200 days behind Nvidia.
It's time.
End of September. Bruv. What are we talking about?
You know what's crazy, Max, is that the September lows are already in. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
I have two more things real quick, Max, when you're done.
Yeah. I just wanted to show this fractal. Like, it's happening. Moment of silence for its beauty.
Oh, wait, Will, did you?
Boom. Remember we had this discussion? We talked about it on Friday. We were up here. I was like, this thing's going to come back and fill this gap. And they dropped it in a day. Literally filled all the way down to my green box. We're bouncing off it now. I think what we'll probably see is like this bouncing ball effect. And then we'll just spring load off of it. That's what I think is going to happen here. I think we're going to fill and spring load off the fill. So, like, I think, like, being bearish here makes logically no sense. No sense. I know a lot of people are really bearish and they want to look for lower. They want to look for lower liquidity. Previous gap fills have already been filled.
Will, you were saying some crazy bearish stuff this morning, bro.
I was just antagonizing people.
I know you were trolling hard, brother.
Because people were panicking. So
I know.
I gotta feed into it.
Like people were panicking. Ever had salt in the wound?
I had to throw fuel on the fire. Yeah.
Jeez. So Nvidia, I talked about this right here too. And granted, I was talking about this up here when everybody's like, "Oh no, it still looks good." I'm like, dude, we keep rejecting. We keep rejecting, and then boom, they just slam it. Came all the way down into my range. You can go back to previous videos too, audience. So just so you know, you can go back to previous videos. I'm not being cocky. I'm just pointing out the obvious, right? Boom, hit liquidity. Now that we're here, I think that here's the problem with this area. This I want to see hold. Again, I'm looking at this body, how we jumped from here to here. So I was looking, okay, we have a little bit of a gap. It's not really a gap because you have a wick here, but I was looking at like, okay, we have a little bit of a gap here. There's really no fill. So they came down and tapped that. Here's the thing that they could do. They could do one of two things here. They can run this back up and then roll it and then run, or they could just play the bouncing ball effect and run it down and then run, right? But ultimately, I think it runs. Why do I think it runs? Because this looks like shit, right? A lot of people think this chart looks like absolute shit. A lot of people are targeting extremely lower prices for Nvidia. They're looking for this thing to come way down. Well, if you just delete everything on the chart, remove everything, right? Just keep it KISS. Keep it simple, stupid, right? I always stick to that motto. And you just kind of look at what you have going on here. You've got basically a pennant playing out at the high, right? So what does that mean for price action? That means as long as you remain in this pennant, you should remain high time frame bullish. That means price can come down to 96, but you should expect price continuation, price to move back up, right? What you have here is you have your flagpole, which is this right here. That's your flagpole. And then you have your pennant, which is price coiling and then continuation. That's how this flag pattern works. So this is actually a really good pattern. I like it a lot. And this isn't the only chart that's doing it, actually. Tesla's been in the same thing for a while. Like I can pretty much clear. I have a lot of shit on here because I've been tracking Tesla for a long time. But
Boys,
if I were to like clear everything out,
Will,
yep.
we're pumping. Boys, we're pumping.
I hear that daily.
Who is bidding? We need to like pull up some derivative stuff because somebody's bidding
So
pretty hard right now. But
this
keep
is
going.
Tesla. Boom. Same thing. Look, flagpole into a pennant, right? Like people, you got to remain high time frame bullish. Yes, you have potential for a little more downside. You do have potential. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not at all going to deny that from people, but you have to understand what your directionality looks like probably in the next 3 to 6 months. So what does that mean when you're down here in price? When I say down here, I mean at lower prices. It means you should be looking for opportunity, good RR plays that you can get into before the market starts running. Don't wait for the market to start running before you get in. Like it just doesn't make logical sense to be like, I'm going to wait for 70K Bitcoin before I buy again. It's just dumb. Why don't you buy a 55? Like that's logically stupid. If it goes down, it goes down. Who cares?
Okay.
If you're gonna wait for 70K, you've already lost money. You've lost money to the upside.
Okay, so here, hang on, just a quick update. So we've got a Coinbase spot bid. Aggregated OI is up. Binance OI is pretty much flat to down. So, and their CVD is lower. So Binance is not buying it. It's really just the burgers. And maybe Bybit. We'll see. Let me look at Bybit, but just wanted to throw that out there.
Here you go.
Yeah, there it is. Also,
here it is.
Bro, hey, we need what highlight, man. I love cats. Highlight that. We need a chart with that.
Here's your chart, man. This is the only thing that matters right here. Previous 2 cycles, current cycle with halvings and elections.
Yep.
Elections is the biggest thing, guys. Like even stocks are gonna pump. Like election initial, like you're gonna get this euphoria stage directly after election. It doesn't matter who it is. I know some of you may believe it does. It doesn't. And then eventually the following year, it's gonna be like, oh shit, and then the market's gonna shit itself. So euphoria next year, the following year, recession is what it is. I don't make the rules.
Seems that Bybit's pretty long. You got Bybit apes plus a Coinbase spot bid going on right now. So interpret that however you would like. But
so Patriots are gambling and it's working.
Yeah, Patriots are gambling on VPNs and it's working.
Well, yeah. Max Simply Degen has spoken. We might as well just shut it down.
Or not going to happen very soon, boys. Hang on. We will have a short pump. March, we go home. Base low, low, low. No more chart, please. There will be no election. Mark my words. Okay.
What do you mean there will be no election?
Yeah, I'm going to need...
just a quick point of clarification. If you would be so kind.
Yeah, please.
What do you mean when you say there will be no election?
I mean, I
feel like it's already scheduled and it's probably going to happen.
Every 4 years.
On November 5th. I feel like it will happen.
I know where he's going with it, but it's pretty smooth. So
is he a smooth brain?
Yeah, clearly. Yeah.
He must not believe in dinosaurs.
He doesn't believe in icebergs on the edge of the earth.
It's called a wall, Will. You wouldn't get it.
You wouldn't understand. Max, where do you stand on dinosaurs?
Oh, my
Oh,
god,
bro.
where do you stand
I
on
can't do this.
You can't.
Where do you stand on
knows?
fossils, bro? Where do
He
you stand on
knows.
fossils?
But you don't. I mean, thank God for dinosaurs, otherwise we wouldn't be able to drive our cars, man. The
Yeah.
fuel that we get from their
Fossil
bones.
fuels. We just take their bones, we shove them into our cars, and then it goes up and pollutes the
No, you actually have
atmosphere.
to put them in a giant blender, and then you blend them
Yeah,
up, and then you put the
that's right.
fuel from the bones.
Yeah,
Fossil fuels. Yeah,
makes sense.
you wouldn't
Yeah,
get it. You wouldn't.
yeah.
Get it.
Bro, hey, I'm not gonna lie though, Solana looks pretty good, bro. Like, like I
Solana
talked
looks
about
pretty
this
good.
morning. Yeah, throw me the chart real quick. Throw me the chart real quick. Like, if Solana pumps off this, it's gonna look pretty good, man.
Guys, how can you look at this chart that I have up here and be bearish? Like, I don't understand this. Like,
I don't either. I've been trying to tell people, man. I mean, personally, fully deployed and buying dips strategically, but everyone else who's scared right here and trying
I'm
to panic
literally
sell.
shoving every spare bit of money I have into worthless vaporware right now.
There he is. He's back.
And I want to be clear, like I think there is potential to probably go to 52. I think there is potential. I've said that on the show. I'll say it again. I don't give a shit though. Like I'm 55 is close enough for me. I'm buying. Like I don't really care. But
according
Solana,
to this, like, okay, so if to be on track with our previous two cycles, Bitcoin could technically go down here a little bit, probably to like low 50s, and we would still be like right on track. You know what I mean? But what I know about this chart is that like September seasonality with the Bitcoin halvings marked out on all these three charts and the elections, brother, I will not relent until I get an answer. What are we talking about? I know it's choppy. I know it's annoying. I know you're scared. It's not fun. But this is the fun. This is the fun. And how could you, as a man, look your family in the eyes and say, I don't want to bid between the Bitcoin halving and the election, knowing that historically, those that bid in here made it. You know?
Literally made it.
Made it. Are you really willing to bet that this won't happen again? I have to bet that this will happen again. You have no choice but to bet that this will happen again. It's too risky to not bet.
I think it's more risky to not bid than to bid.
Yes, it's more risky to not gamble than to gamble. Okay.
Dude, look at this chart.
This is where I'm at.
What are we talking? Like, tell me more about the yield curve. Tell me more about like just. Does it matter?
Tell me more about how the jobs data is missed. They didn't create 800 million jobs this year. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh my God.
You say 800 million jobs?
I don't know, whatever number they come up with every fucking year. They always make us some fictitious number and then say, oh, we hit it or we didn't hit it. It's always some fake bullshit.
Dude,
what are we even talking about?
These super chats get me hyped, man.
We will retire our entire bloodline. That's right, brother. That's right. They're learning.
Here's your signal, guys. You stay super long until Tucker buys another watch and a blacked out Escalade.
I'll let everyone know, okay? I will let everyone know ahead of time.
Bro.
He's going to buy a blacked out Escalade.
Yeah,
and he's going to send it to Hennessy. And they're going to make it 800 horsepower. Yep. And he's going to have probably an do you want an Audemars? What kind of watch are you going to get?
Yeah, I'm going to get an AP for sure.
When Tucker buys an AP and a blacked out Escalade, just
sell it all. No matter what I'm saying, sell it all. Okay.
Because he'll be pulled up too. Like he'll have his new watch and his Escalade, and he'll be like, I don't know, I think we go higher. Don't listen to him.
Don't listen to me. Sell it all right then and there.
I will say this though, like the presidential election that hits hard. Like people got to understand that. Like that's a no miss. That's a no miss hit, right? Like if you have some fluctuations, you can be like, oh, well, there's this scenario where it didn't happen, but there's no scenario where that hasn't played. Like you have to go with it. It's really that simple. Like we can call it 4-year cycles, we can call it presidential elections, whatever people want to call it. Like I don't care what you want to call it. It's 4 years. Doesn't matter what you want to call it, elections or cycles, and boom, we're going up.
And Will, you said this to me a while ago, right? 1 year down, how many years up?
3 years up. 1 year
Okay.
down, 3 years up.
Okay. Someone said, Max, what will you have, Max? Max will have nothing. Max doesn't spend money. Max hates shopping. Max is going to buy his wife a house and then nothing else. I don't even buy socks, man. Like, I don't buy anything. I hate spending money. I did just buy golf clubs though, but that's a little bit different. I've had my same clubs for like 10 years, but I just got some new Mizuno blades, man. They're so nice.
Well, that was because of an arc transition, of course. Right?
It was, yeah. It was an arc. Yeah, it marked a local bottom, right? Like the significance of the golf arc was real.
It did.
But yeah, man, I learned I'd say I learned a while ago, probably when I was like 24, that spending money actually doesn't make you happy. Did a nice real estate transaction, made, a really nice yearly salary in like 3 months, brokered a deal on some apartment buildings. And I worked super hard and was like, I'm going to be so happy when this deal closes. Everything will change. And then I got the deal done. The money was in the bank. And then I was like, damn, literally nothing changed. Dang. So yeah, Max won't be spending any money. Max just wants to win. That's it. I just want to win, and I want to see you guys win. And I love to just have fun and be bullish with my boys. That's what makes me happy. I don't know. Maybe I'd buy something, I don't. Everyone's like, I'm going to buy a yacht. I'm going to buy like a supercar. I'm just like, I will buy my wife a house and then invest for my son and get him loaded up on a 529 plan, and his education will be paid for. And then I will.
No, Max, I'm gonna make you buy a Sky Dweller. Just one nice thing.
Okay.
That'll be the top.
But I actually do have a dream of starting like a charity. Like one of our missions here at BB, and I probably need to remind everybody, is that, well, not that anybody's done anything, right? But it's good to just remind, is to destigmatize the crypto industry as best as we can. For all the shillers and the scammers and the dumpers out there, we don't do any of that. And I want to set the bar higher for our industry, right? And it's not enough with just us doing it, but if somebody out there with a platform can look at us and what we did during the cycle and then after the cycle and say, yeah, like these crypto guys aren't so bad, like these guys did the right thing. They played shit coins. They never did paid deals. They didn't dump on their followers. Like they did their best to help. Oh, and they started like a crypto funded charity with, their profits after to make a difference. I'm like, that's lasting. That's what I want to do, is like, I want people to look at us and be like, those guys did it right. For all the criminals last cycle, that messed it up. That's what I want, is I want people to look at us and go, those are some good guys that did it the right way. And then there's no excuse, because what I hate is that people will be like, oh yeah, like, well, another KOL dumped on their followers. Well, that's just crypto. No, it's not just crypto. It's just you. You're just an asshole. We're going to show you that we don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. That's what I want. I want that legacy of they helped destigmatize the space. An industry that they love had such a bad reputation, they did something about it. That's what I want. And then I might buy a Sky Dweller because that'd be fun. I've never bought a nice watch or anything.
You will, Max. You will. It's gonna be beautiful.
Real quick though, can I get the chart?
Oh,
and by the way, this is true, Remy.
I'll be fast,
true.
Tucker.
This is
true.
I was putting my sock on this morning. Why I mentioned socks was I was getting dressed this morning and I pulled my sock up too hard and I ripped my heel through the sock. And I was like, gosh, I really need new socks. Like these things are just worn. And my wife was just like laughing. And I was like, I don't know if I even want to buy new socks. I just have another pair here. But I did just accumulate a bunch of Andy. Like if you're wondering why Andy hasn't been dropping recently with everything, or like when it does, it gets sucked right back up. I won't let Andy fall. I'm doing everything I possibly can to literally hold the line here, because I know if we can hold the line here on Andy and I just continue to shove and then I get a little bit of ETH strength, Andy's going to gorillions in market cap, you know? So it's like everybody wants somebody to bid their altcoin as support. And I'm like, I'm not going to wait for somebody else. Like, I'm going to continue to shove this thing. I have to hold the line here. So if you're like, wow, Andy's really holding up well, you know, amidst broader market weakness, look no further, fella. You found him.
So with all this being said, this is the chart I've showed before, but this is kind of the thought process. A lot of people they get bearish at the dumbest points in this market. Just literally the stupidest. Like this is where the bears cry the whole time. They cry and cry and cry. They cry and cry and cry. Again, crying, crying, cry. And again, we're doing it again, cry and cry and cry. You know, it's every single freaking time. Like it's not an education problem because people aren't trying to get educated. It's a stupidity problem in this market. Like these micro-minded traders that come in and say and claim that they know what's going on but can't zoom out on a chart. It's not hard to understand. Like parabolic move, right? Parabolic move, expecting a parabolic move. Like it's like programmed. You should just be anticipating. Again, 396 days, 427 days, 426 days. I gave you 426 days for the next bear market, and it's all the way over here. This isn't a bear market. Like people just the bear market doesn't start till over here. I can't make it any clearer for people. It's really that's
Will, what's the exact date of the cycle top, global cycle top? I want the date and the hour and the minute.
Somewhere in December 25th, 2020.
Well, that's not what I asked. I want the exact date of the cycle top.
Exact date?
Exact date.
December 1st, 2025.
There you have it.
There you have
it.
Someone
clip that, and when it happens, Will is goated. Someone clip that. I'll let him forget.
If it doesn't happen, you all can call me alert.
I think it's going to be earlier, Will. I think it's going to be earlier.
Could be. I might be a month or two off.
This morning in the Discord, somebody was like, or I said, Andy's like, despite what ETH is doing, Andy's still going to $1 billion plus in market cap. And someone's like, what, bro? You said 5 billion. What the fuck? And I think they were joking, and I was like, I'm market cap LARPing.
But even with that, like, look at this,
dude. Stop dropping. Do not drop comments in our chat, Hugo.
Huh? Oh, contract addresses.
Yeah, you've been cheated from the chat now, man. It's over for you. You don't get to do that.
Hugo's a Chad. I don't know if he.
We top in October next year. There you have it. Clip that.
But look at Sol. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking.
Is that the monthly?
That's the monthly, bro. Look at this freaking floor. Look at this floor. That's crazy that they've been able to hold the body candles above this floor. It's absolutely. I looked at this the other day and I was like, bro, that's insanity. They've actually
pull it up on Binance and do the same 1 month chart. Will
look at it. Look at it right here.
Do Binance.
Binance. Why does Binance matter?
Just it has more data. I'm gonna tell you to Sol Binance chart.
USD.
Nah, USDT. Well, they probably still have it. Either way, monthly.
Okay. I already have some data on here, apparently. Holy shit. Look at this. I already had it drawn out.
Yes, look at that.
I already had it drawn.
But doesn't it look somewhat, in terms of the floor holding, somewhat similar to summer of 2021?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look left. Up. Right
You
there.
mean like right here?
With the wicks, you know?
Oh, yeah, the big wicks
I
down.
mean, obviously we've been here for a lot longer, but
yeah, it could be. Which, I mean, if that ends up being the case and we end up doing something similar, you know,
yeah,
that's a cool 750%. If it can shoot about the same, I'd say give it 5. Give it 5x.
Guys, you need to stop dropping contracts like this one. Like you need like this one specifically. Like I'm just gonna put this up here as an example that like you have to stop dropping contracts like this one. Just as a random example, this could be anything, but
bro,
now
I
it's
can't
frozen.
even
I can't get the contract off the screen, man. I just crazy, man.
I can't even believe I already had this drawn out. That's actually pretty nutty because I haven't even looked at the Binance chart in a while. So it looks like I already had the liquidity zone drawn out, and I already had like the direction of what I was expecting here. Except obviously we didn't get all the way up to the range. But
it's time, Will. It's time.
Tucker, or I'll ask Will too, but I know this is I feel like Tucker's more of a Sol guy than anybody on the team. But Tucker, what do you think of Sol ETH, man? There's been a lot of debate about Sol ETH.
Know.
And I'm a little torn where like I feel like it's become a little bit crowded to just like FUD Sol ETH. Like I'm really bullish ETH for the next 6 months. But I don't know if I agree that Sol ETH
I don't know that it's gonna go anywhere like here. Like I mean, this is kind of the lowest I could see it going, but I don't really know the reason for that move, or else it's kind of over for Sol. Like I think you're just gonna kind of continue to just
until you break out.
You think it's vertical accumulation, not some distributive pattern up here?
Yeah, I mean, you could even like, you know, as long as you kind of protect this pump candle right here, like I think you're fine. Kind of like that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get another move like this, right? Like that was pretty ridiculous, but I don't think it has to nuke. Also, I don't think it really matters because I think both in USD are gonna go up, but
can I rant for like 2 minutes on ETH?
Yeah, do it.
Well, you can rant longer if you'd like.
I want to. No, I mean like negatively. Like I'm so mad.
Sure.
Well, ETH. I don't.
I need to get this off my chest, bro. Like,
do you though? I don't.
This is the only crypto, the only one, bro, that I am mad.
That's the best looking chart in crypto right there, Will. I don't even know what you're mad about.
Oh,
very obvious. The ETH strength it's overwhelming how strong it looks, Will.
Bro.
You wouldn't get it. He wouldn't get it.
We retested the breakout. I am so like I'm Tommy mad. Okay, at ETH
impossible.
Right
Impossible.
I am that bad right now on ETH, bro. Like, how do you retest the breakout? I had to zoom out and look at this the other day, and I didn't even notice it until I zoomed out, and I was like, bro, I'm done. I'm done. I'm like, we retested the breakout, really, ETH? We retested the breakout. Like I'm bullish across the board, but that is ridiculous that Ethereum retested the breakout.
I don't think it is ridiculous. I don't think it is.
Look at Solana and tell me that's not ridiculous.
Hold up, Will. Come on now.
Don't make me cook on you, Will. I'll do it.
Don't make me cook. Don't make me do it.
I will do it, Will.
Close enough. Study the breakout.
Oh,
hold on. Oh. Did he do it to him? Oh.
Wow.
No,
murder has just taken place live on Market Check.
That ain't gonna happen.
You came for my L1 of choice, Will, and I just look at that.
We go to 10K, you get a 5x.
Will.
Oh yeah, I'm not holding any spot ETH, bro. That's not what this is about. Yeah.
I'm holding a lot of spot
Oh,
ETH because,
man.
like I said, I'm shoving it into to Andy. But look, man, I have to cook on you now, Will. I have to show you that you're wrong. Okay,
Oh,
it simply must happen. All right, look at this chart right here. All right, look at this chart. Downtrend, shift of trend. Right, this is your high time frame, high or low. We had a black swan. I'm not counting that. Okay. High time frame, high or low, into an uptrend. Then you enter a downtrend, right? Clearly. First high time frame, shift of trend to the upside. We're in an uptrend. This doesn't look bad, bro. I don't know what everybody's waffling about. This doesn't look bad. We are in a high time frame uptrend right in this region.
All I'm saying
And
is
ETH
there's
is
no
going to
reason.
5 figures. End of discussion.
Look, I have no look. I have no qualms with ETH going to 10K.
You have qualms because you are an ETH fedor. Okay.
Mhm.
I hold MOG, which is beta, but
You
the
sold
point,
your MOG at the top, Will. I already know you bought the
Bro.
bottom and you sold the top.
No, I still hold some MOG. Bro.
He's a community member now, Max.
I'm a community member. Look, for life. Okay. I'm probably gonna ride that bag to zero what I have left. But the point being is, and it's still a substantial amount. But the point, and here's the thing, the funny thing, you know the best part. The best part is everybody was trying to convince me to buy TIA because I put 10K in the MOG, and I was like, no, I'm keeping 10K in the MOG, and I was at 10 mil cap. I'm glad I stayed in MOG.
What do we think about the VCs getting another run at it? I think they probably will, but I don't think it's yet. I don't think it's
what
at Valhalla.
I think if you're looking at the right coins,
I think
right?
it will be muted from last cycle. Sorry to cut you off, Will. You keep going. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Yeah, I think if you're looking at the right coins, I think like looking at here's what I would tell people: speculation on new L1s is good, right? Like I think speculation on new L1s is healthy. I think looking at the performance of Solana, me personally, like I'm looking at things that perform like Solana, and it doesn't matter if Solana right now is just a casino. It could be more later on, but the attention is there. And I think the attention will remain to grow on Solana. And I think like looking at that as a whole is good. I think like VC coins like Filecoin, because you're going to be forcing people, or at least companies that are on chain, to be using things like Filecoin. So that's going to be a good one. Like I think that some of these will catch a bid, but when retail really enters the scene, then these companies will run it up on these other companies, and then retail will run it up on some of these coins. A lot of people are going to be looking at the retail coins. I think you should be looking at the coins that other companies will probably use when retail starts entering the scene. But I do think that they're gonna get a run for their money as far as fundamentals again.
I think they're going to get a run, but I think it will be muted compared to last cycle because I believe, truthfully, to my core, that meme coins are about to have a super cycle. I think we're about to have a meme coin bubble like we saw last cycle with VC bubbles. And VCs don't have a way to get meme coins besides literally just buying them or finding OTC deals. And I'll tell you right now, I get hit up probably once a month, maybe every 3 weeks, by somebody that has a VC or like is just super wealthy. I don't know if they're like legitimately VCs that wants to buy like 7 figures of Andy, and then they want like a discount on it. And I just tell them no every single time. I'm like, no, sorry. I don't know anybody that would want to sell it at that price. Sorry. So like, I think that they kind of know that these community tokens, they have a way of building. Remember last cycle, like I feel like Sol did the best because it kind of had like in a way it had its own kind of like cult and community attached to it. Like they had a really strong allegiance to Solana last cycle. And I think that VCs recognized like, okay, we can't make anybody die on the hill of Say or Sui, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But people will die on the hill of Mog and Andy and Pepe and Brett and Wolf, right? To name a few. But they can't get their sneaky deals. So I really think we're about to see a meme coin super cycle.
Bro,
Will it last
comma.
another? Will it go into next cycle? No, because they're all, a lot of them will go down 95 to 98% in the bear market from much higher.
Bro, look at comma's comment.
Thanks, Chimp.
Chimp is not an employee here. We don't endorse whatever Chimp is saying.
Whatever Chimp said, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Chimp made me buy a Bitcoin puppet too, and then he dumped on me.
Real quick, can I get the chart real quick? When you get a second.
Yeah, hold on. Do you see this though? Can we just study this real quick?
Look. I'm not saying
Will,
ETH doesn't go up.
about that? Will,
look. I think ETH to 10K. All right, enjoy your 5x. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying. Like, your beta better run. Your beta better make up for it.
I'm not worried about that. I'm on the buttons.
All right. That's all I'm saying. As long as you're confident on your beta, you're good, right? If you're just buying ETH, good luck.
And by the way, I am fine buying ETH in size for my 5x. I'm fine with that.
I mean, if you're trying to flip a mil into 5 mil, I think it's an easy play. It's an easy play.
I agree.
Right? I think you can get the same thing with Bitcoin. That's the thing.
No. ETH outperforms.
Okay, not 5, but I think it's an easy play.
I think it's easier to get ETH to 10 to 12K than Bitcoin to 300.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, let me see that chart, Tucker.
All right.
Somebody's asking about weekly structure. So weekly structure, okay? Weekly structure. So weekly structure is in a downtrend. Whenever you're playing the midline, we're playing the upside of the midline for now. If we play the downside of the midline, guess what? Anything from midline and down, you can buy things. Anything from midline and up, you should wait. That's basically the way you should play this. It's not a hard scenario. It was the same thing when we were in a downtrend here, right? Anything midline and below, you should buy. Anything midline and above, you should wait. Again, midline you can buy, above wait. Midline you can buy, above wait. Below midline, definitely you can buy. Above midline you can still buy, above wait. Breakout structure, now reaccumulation range. We're doing the same pattern here. I forget who it was who just asked the question, Anderson, but this right here is basically the structure. The structure is structured in a what we call a bull flag pattern. So it's a down trending pattern that is deemed to break out. Again, a down trending pattern that is deemed to break out. When a market is in an uptrending pattern, it is deemed to break down, and that's basically how these patterns work. This is why pattern watching is a good thing, especially on high time frames. It makes it really simple to understand. But this right here is like an easy to follow structure chart. And as you can see right here from the structure chart, if your flagpole downfall, right? Flagpole downfall, it's a breakout pattern. If your flagpole uptrend, it's a breakdown pattern. I'm just teaching you guys like basic structure here because it seems like I'm consistently fighting people who don't understand structure in the comments usually not saying that's the case today. So I'm just kind of showing you like what these look like. And it's the same thing for pennants. You should always expect, similar scenarios for pennants, break out into a downtrend. So whenever the market sells short, it's to go long. Whenever the market sells long or buys long, it's to go short. That's how you should always take these patterns. So whenever you're looking at these markets, zoom out, understand what they are. And then there's another pattern too, and this is one I'm seeing across the board too, and it's tightening patterns. This is a tightening pattern. So when you start to see patterns start to tighten, you should pay attention because directionality is what determines the tightening pattern. So if you had a flagpole from the top, tightening pattern would go down. Because we have a flagpole from the bottom, tightening pattern goes up. It's a breakout structure. So just teaching the audience a little bit for you guys.
We've had a lot of questions about Caspa, so I've kind of missed a couple previous ones. So let me do some TA on Caspa for you guys. All right. So let's go over Caspa, guys. Caspa, I'm super bullish on Caspa, and I really like that. It's been like here. Let's pull up Bitcoin. I love that Caspa has been basically doing what Bitcoin has been doing, except moving up, right? So Bitcoin down below and Caspa up top. Like, I really like that Caspa, amongst all of the shit coins that have been bleeding against Bitcoin, I love that Caspa has been kind of on its own little path right here. Okay. That's really unique for a new altcoin to be showing that kind of strength amongst Bitcoin behaving like this. And prime example of that is we'll put up others, which is all of your shit coins, right? It's everything outside the top 10. Like, look at what we've been doing here. It's hard to not be bullish on a chart like this, right? When it's a new, young, fresh altcoin and Bitcoin from this high is down right now. I mean, I guess we'll just do it from, we'll go to the low, right? Bitcoin went down 37% from high to low during this range. Others, which is your altcoin index, that's like everything outside the top 10, went down 57, right? So others went down 57, Bitcoin went down 32, and Caspa from that same level to this wick down 33, but like to where it is now, it's like 18, right? So it's, it is clearly showing more strength, right? And if we go to like where we're currently at, Caspa down 18 from that same high, right? Bitcoin down 21, others down 48. Like, Caspa's been strong, guys. Like, Caspa has been really strong. The only thing I don't love about it right here, and I think it will resolve quickly, is that there's a pretty obvious supply region right here. But I think it probably gets chewed through, right? Like, I do believe we'll probably do this, flip it, fake sell off, and then we probably are off to the races like this. But I'm super bullish on Caspa because of the strength that it's been showing. And again, we know, like, historically, this is my favorite example. I'll try to do it really quickly. Let's just do ADA. ADA was a top performing mid cap alt last cycle. And I just want to show you guys like what happened to ADA last cycle when Bitcoin finally went through the previous cycle all-time high, and how I think the same thing is going to happen to Caspa. So here's Bitcoin down below. Bitcoin broke through the previous cycle all-time high with conviction right around here. Okay. And at that time, ADA basically went from a 4 billion market cap to 100 billion. It went up 2,000% when Bitcoin, I guess to right here, went up 260%. So the trigger for a mid-cap altcoin, ADA last cycle, was Bitcoin going into price discovery. So if we do the same thing right up here with Caspa, and we put Bitcoin down below, I am expecting something very, very similar to occur with Caspa. Like, I would expect Bitcoin to go up, like, let's just say, like, even here, 100 and 140%. I don't know, like whatever it does. Okay. And I would expect Caspa to basically do what ADA did and rise through the ranks as the top mid-cap altcoin and probably go up, at least 10x that, right? Something like this. And Bitcoin's previous cycle all-time high doesn't even show on this chart. It was 69, so it was like, right here. Like, this is what I'm expecting, is like whatever Bitcoin does, I would expect Caspa to basically do 10x that during a bull market. I really would. So that's basically what I'm expecting. But like, this was your trigger last cycle for mid-cap altcoins, was Bitcoin and price discovery. You need Bitcoin and price discovery for Caspa to do well. It just needs broader market strength, and then I think it's going to go crazy. So I like it. I definitely like it. I'm being a little patient locally, like I said, because I recognize like there's not like a huge rush to buy it. Like, it's about to go up in an hour, right? You have a very, very clear level. It's super obvious, guys. Like right here. You get below that, I'll flip it. Like, you get back down in there and you do this. Like this. Like, just that's it. Like, that's all you need to do is just wait for that red box locally. Like that is literally it. And if you get that, and you get that if you get this move right here at the same time as Bitcoin going into price discovery, that's it. That's all you got to do. All right, but guys, we are going to call it here. Thanks so much for being here. This was Market Check brought to you by BB. Do us a favor before you go. Please consider liking and also subscribing to the channel if you are new here. Last but not least, check out the links in the description below to support BB and to support your journey here in crypto. We have a wide array of products, especially a new one, which I will mention. But right now, if you check out the first link in the description below, it will take you to our website where you can sign up for our Discord. What you could expect right now is 2 hours a day of private live voice calls with me and the entire BB team and community. We talk about charts, setups, analysis, narratives, a lot of stuff that we don't talk about or get into here on YouTube. But basically everything that you want to know behind the curtains, twice a day, over 2 hours a day, morning and afternoon, everything recorded in the BB Discord. Plus, we have active positions channels, TA channels, and you open up a line of communication with us here at BB basically 24/7, guys. No community out there that works harder. Check that out. First link in the description below. Second link in the description below is to the BB Academy, guys. If you want to learn to do TA and FA, some stuff that you've seen here on Market Check from me and the entire BB team, consider checking out the second link in the description below to the BB Academy, guys. It is our master class on how to do TA and FA. If you want to speed run your educational journey in these markets, there is no better course out there on the market, guys. You learn from me, Haggard, Will, Tommy, Jack, is the entire BB team of analysts, guys. It's really awesome. We've got some great feedback on it, so definitely consider checking that out. Second link in the description below. Last but not least, it's going live this week. Our Discord already has access to it, but if you're in the Discord, you will get BB Terminal, our new flagship product, thrown in for no additional cost, guys. It's got portfolio tracking, derivatives data, heat map, literally everything that you could need or want to succeed in these markets, all conveniently packaged into one Swiss Army knife for you guys. You'll definitely want to check that out. This week, you'll be able to buy that as a standalone product for a discount, as we are still working on it. It's an awesome product, but it's really cool. It's really, really cool. And order execution is coming to that very, very soon as well. But yeah, guys, definitely consider checking out the links in the description below. Join us somewhere. But if not, regardless, thank you guys so much for being here. This was Market Check brought to you by BB. Quick reminder to like and also subscribe before you go. We will see you guys tomorrow. Everybody take care.